Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about my new all-time favorite book, The Library at Mount Char. It's a quick rapid review. I'm going to give you 5 minutes or less. This is going to have a quick synopsis, pros, cons, and then my overall rating. Spoiler alert, it's 5 stars. So first of all, I read this book because I've heard about it on a couple different booktubers channels, but Lexi from Alexander Rosalind, she had it on her best of all of her reads from last year's in her top 10. And I thought, okay, well then I'll pick it up. I read the audiobook, but then I also bought the physical book and kind of followed along because it was so good. So I had to, of course, own my own copy. But it is by Scott Hawkins, and this is his one and only book, debut novel. Please write more. I mean, this was written in like 2015, so it's been like 8 years, and this guy needs to write like way more and fast. As far as the synopsis goes, the less you know, the better. And I know that people say that all the time, but in this case, it's so true. I knew very little going into it, and honestly, I am so glad. All I knew, I'll just read you. I'm not even going to read you the whole back cover. Don't read the whole back cover. Here's all you need to know. It says, Carolyn knows she's a bit odd, but she figures that's only natural when she spent her life locked up in an infinite library. Okay, that sold me. Forced to study at the feet of the man who might be God. She's seen her share of terrible things in those years, even died a few times herself. Then I skipped I'm going to skip the middle part, but just know this has to do with the future of the universe itself. Brilliantly plotted, blackly funny, truly epic in scope. Features a cast of characters that include a tutu-clad psychopath, a malevolent iceberg, and a lion named after an atomic bomb. The Library of Mount Char is the year's most ambitious and acclaimed fantasy debut, and a ride like none you've ever been on before. I can't give this book enough praise, so I'm going to mostly give you pros and then like maybe one con. So the first pro is that you have absolutely no clue what's going to happen next in this book. So just when you think you might know, no. I mean, you have absolutely no idea where this thing is going, which is such a fun ride. It is so original. I have literally never read anything like this in my life. And if I had to compare it to anything, I mean, maybe The City of Dreaming Books would be the closest thing I could think of, just because it's about books and it's also really weird, but it's really nothing like that. Just some other things, it literally starts right in the middle of the action. There's like no setup, you have no clue what's going on. You're kind of like learning as you go, and the characters are already in the midst of everything. They already know everything. You don't have to try to like learn along with them. They know everything already, which is really nice. There's an awesome female protagonist. Like, she seems really quiet and sweet, this Carolyn girl, but really she is like plotting and manipulating and scheming this entire time. I love the like, is their father figure God? And like, if he is, he's a terrible God because he like tortures them and kills them and then has them resurrected. So I thought that was really interesting. There's a character, I don't want to even spoil too much, but there's a character named Steve who is kind of like the primary character, and you even see some stuff from his point of view, and Steve is just like the normal character. There's like all this crazy stuff going on, and then there's Steve. It's like the Steve character from Stranger Things. He's just like the normal guy that gets sucked into everything, and he's awesome, and I love him too. And it doesn't leave you wondering like what is going to happen with a certain situation. You're just like, oh, but what would have happened with that? Like, I'm going to use an example, and it's not really a spoiler, but like kind of in the middle of the book, there's something about lions, and I don't think that's too much of a spoiler because I think they even tell you somewhere that there's lions. But anyway, there's lions. And you're just like, oh, okay, these lions got hurt. Well, then like it literally has one of the characters like taking the lions in to get help. And you're like, oh, what's going to happen with the lions? And it like lets you know. And then like the lions come back into it later on. And like, it really fleshes out everything so that you're kind of left with like no questions, which is nice. One of my main pros of this book, and I guess I should have said this at the beginning, is that I love the incorporation of like fantasy elements into the modern world. So like urban fantasy. I don't even know what you call this urban fantasy exactly. It doesn't remind me of like Dresden Files or something that is really urban fantasy, but just the fact that it is sort of in the real world, but with these crazy fantastical elements. There's so much I want to tell you and I can't, but yeah, just suffice it to say that is what sold it to me. The writing's great. It's not super, poetic or flowery language or like metaphorical or anything like that, but it's really good. If I had to pick any cons, I mean, none. There are none, because this is an all-time favorite, like top 10 ever book, and I cannot wait to read it again. And the fact that it's a standalone is also amazing. I don't have to commit to like a massive trilogy. So, I mean, would I read more in this world? Yes, but does it need more? No, it needs to just stop. But if I had to pick a con, I would say it's probably just that there are flashbacks throughout, and sometimes you're just so into the action that you don't want the flashback. You're like, wait, take me back to the actual action that's going on. I don't need the flashback, but you do need the flashbacks. They are really important. So I'm glad that they're there, but sometimes you just really want to get back to the action. And that's really it. That's all you need to know. Just go buy this book and read it. And I don't know why people on Goodreads are giving it like 2 stars and they're giving like the Starlessy 5 stars. Who are these people? Who are you? This book is amazing and everyone needs to read it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read The Library at Mount Char, and if you're going to, which the answer should just be yes, because it's so good. Please read it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm gonna make my husband read it. I'm gonna make everybody I know read it. And oh my gosh, please, Scott Hawkins, write more books, for crying out loud. All right, so thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.